Well, good afternoon and welcome along for one final time. It is the McCol Monapark Open with SBS here on the LPGA Tour of Korea, the 12th event of the LPGA Tour of Korea season. We are about halfway through the final round, the third and final round. Kim Reem, she started the day atop the leaderboard in sole possession of the lead. She is 1 under for the day and has a 2-stroke advantage over the closest competitor as she nears her back 9. It would be the first time in quite some time since the 31-year-old Kim Reem would win a championship, the last time coming in 2018. She's in the driver's seat. It is her tournament to lose, playing in the final group that teed off on the first hole at 11:01 local time, 2 hours ago exactly. She's in a group with Igi Pum and Lee So-young. My name is Adam Jenkins. Great to be with you once again here on the KLPGA Tour. It is another cloudy, soggy day. The rain is holding off for the time being. Could make an appearance later on in the afternoon, but it has been steady rain all morning until about the past hour or so. Let's head out to the course. This is at the 10th hole, par 5, 499-meter, chipping on from the rough and rolling inside a few meters. And So-young Jung, a birdie putt at 9 to get to 8 under par and 1 back of the lead, slightly off to the left. The tap and par to stay in a 4-way tie for second position, along with Hong Jung-min, Yoo-hae Ran at 7 under as well, as is Lee Ga-young. Park Young-gyung 1 foot on the fringe, pulling that putt and overhitting it as well. Slight downhill putt for her as well, and it was very pacey. Softer greens making for kinder approach shots, but still a very difficult green to figure out with the putter. And finishing up the back 9, Hong Jung-min. Looks like she's underhit this putt. Not by much, but light enough and slightly offline as well. No ground to be made up for her either. An impressive opening 9 nonetheless. 3 birdies, 3 under as she heads to 10. And on 10, Kim Soo-ji to join the party at 7 under par. Uphill and a right to left. The weight was right, the line was not. Simple tap in. 2 under for the day for Kim Soo-ji. Also finishing up her time on the hill course, Lee So-mi. This one looks like it has eyes for the cup, and it does indeed. Getting her birdie to drop. Birdie's at 5 and 9. She's out with a 34. Lee So-mi 5th on the tour money list heading into this event. And just 213 meters remaining from the fairway for our leader. Our second shot with a low fairway wood in hand. She'll roll off the end of the fairway, stops up before the rough gets too thick, and she will be grabbing a wedge and playing from the rough with her third. But still some distance to be found. Two over for the day. This is the second from just inside 200 meters out for Iso Young. Pin today, middle depth, 8 yards off the right. Well, she went for it, and she went for the right. The thick rough before the sand swallows up that approach. She should still be on in 3. And the second at 9 for Iga Young. Well, she finds the green, and the soft green helps her out, not rolling much further back down. The pin in round 3, 12 yards off the front and 9 yards off the left here at 9. It is the fifth par 4 on the hill course. Yuhei ran 102 remaining with her second. Two under for the day. And right at the cup. Lands centimeters shy. Takes a healthy hop and will stop about 2.5 meters out. Come back slightly uphill. And 211. Kim So-yi, a chance to get to 7 under. Able to knock that down calm as you like. Make that 5 birdies on the round, just the 1 bogey at 4. She finds herself 2 back, heading to 12. And we rejoin our featured group at 8, the third shot for Kime Reem. Flies it past the cup, lands on the upslope and will roll its way back down. Nice and tidy inside a couple of meters. A solid look at birdie forthcoming. Well, we've seen a handful of similar looking putts here at 9. Next to try, Iga Young. Gently hit, perfectly on line, and another birdie picked up at the 9th hole. A bogey sandwiched in between 4 birdies, 3 under through the opening 9 holes, and moved up to 8 under par. As the skies start to open up a little bit, we find Iso Young playing from the rough. The delicate balance between getting it out of the rough and not overhitting this and sending it too far away from the cup. Not the most straightforward way to arrive at the 8th green in 3, but that's what she's done. She started the day in sole possession of 3rd at 6 under par with back-to-back rounds of 69. And a birdie look for Yuhei Ran. Looks like it's moving too far to the left on her right away. Misread the line. Chance at birdie slips away as she will tap in for her par. Out with the 34, 2 under on the day. The question will be for her when she reflects back on this tournament, what might have been if not for the back 9 in her opening round. She was remarkably 6 under par through the first 9 holes of the tournament. 5 bogeys on the back, only 2 under in that round. She could have even finished even on the back nine. This would look like a very different Sunday for her. And back to 8, birdie try for Lee So-young. Just inside of 5 meters, she knew right away. Back-to-back birdies here, back-to-back pars, excuse me, here at 8 after a birdie in the opening round. 1 over through the day. Good start with a birdie at 1, but consecutive bogeys 2 and 3. All pars for her ever since. With the rest of the field, a couple of holes further ahead and starting to reel in Kim Reem. This birdie would go a long way. Needs to hit this with a bit more pace than it appears. Weight was fine, just slightly off the line. She lets this opportunity slip. It is 5s each of the 3 times she's played this hole. Still in the lead, but mark this one down as a missed opportunity. Ga-young close on her heels. The 369-meter par 4 11th. There is a long, narrow pond to the right of the fairway. Off to the right, but in play, Kim Soo-ji at 6 under par, her second from the rough. Oh, and she's found the right side of this green perfectly. It's going to roll pretty close. Avoids the rough, avoids the sand. It sets up a decent look at a birdie. Well, she finished in a tie for 11th at this event last year. The 6th playing of this tournament, an event that would go on to be won by Kim Min-sun 5, who missed the cut after letting a couple of must-make birdie putts slip in the final few holes for her yesterday. Last year, Kim Reem went 68, 73, and 69, and she's able to find the fairway. She's been steadily improving on her accuracy. It was interesting to note that in the first round she made 7 of the 14 fairways in regulation while driving well beyond her average distance on the year by about 6 or 7 yards. And yesterday, when she was about 15 yards shorter on average off the tee, she found 4 more fairways, so sacrificing a little bit of distance for some accuracy. She's made 28 of the 36 greens in regulation. As Lee So-young tees off now. Hitting above her weight off the tee as well. This weekend was it just past the McCol target zone and into the fairway. And at 12, the first of 2 par 3s on the Birch course. And a lovely tee shot right at the cup. It's just a meter out. Downhill putt for birdie to come. Well, this for par for Kim Soo-ji. And it's a tricky downhill putt. Certainly going to move for her. Oh, she's lined it up well. She's hit it even better. It's an important par save to stay at 6 under. 7 pars in a row for her now. Well, on the final hole, for the final time at the front 9, Kim Reem playing her second. at the flag needing to be slightly to the left of the green. She is. We'll roll a couple of yards past it. And we'll trade clubs for a putter. Meanwhile, at 10, on the green in 2, and a look at eagle. This is Hong Jungmin. Immediately, she would get into a tie with Kimi Reem atop the leaderboard if this eagle will drop and it just skirts off the right edge. Well, we nearly had a co-leader. We certainly have a challenger. Tap in birdie. And a great way to start the back 9. Now up to 8 under par. Now over the commercial break, I checked. This does not count as landing inside McCol target zone. 112 meters, all that remains for Lee So-young. Lifting it down the hill. Oh, she's gone past and still rolling. Will tail off back towards the right side of the green, and it is a long uphill putt next for her. There are 2 McCol target zones on course at the 9th and 10th holes. Every time a tee shot lands inside that circle, there is a 500,000 won donation made. And next week, a 1 billion won purse will be up for grabs. So we hope you'll join us then. We're grateful you're joining us here today as well. Good read and a good hit after a fantastic tee shot. You can make that 3 birdies in a row, 4 in the last 5 holes. Well, it's been a disappointing day thus far for Iggy Pum. You can see the obstacles in her way as she tries to get one back. It is a very impressive effort. Oh, get in the hole. Started her round with a pair of pars, a double bogey, 7 at the 3rd, a bogey at 4, and then bogeys at 7 and 8, and she is all but out of contention now. Down 21 spots from where she started the day. In sole possession of 2nd. Lee So-young flew past this pin. It's a long way back up the hill. 8.5 meters to be precise. It is a chance for birdie. We'll get her back to even par for the day. Let's see what she has in store. Looks like it's gonna run out of room. Pretty good effort with a good read of the line. Under hit. And on pace for another par. Well, at 10, Lee So-young with the ball below her feet. Lands and rolls off the left edge of this green, pin high. Can't have too many complaints with that effort, though, of course, she would have loved to have stayed on. Also at 10, Yuhei ran 109 meters with her next. Struck pretty clean from the fairway, and that's a great result for her as well. Kimboa 1 over for the day. She is 94 meters out. This her third. She too, rolling just off the left, will hang on to a piece of the fringe. Yue ran with the nicest shot of the three to get back to 9. Kime Reem to get to 10 under par. It looks okay, the line lacking just a little bit. So it will be another par. Birdied here in round 1, par yesterday, and quite likely a par in the 3rd round as well. Non-consecutive days. She goes out with a 35, 1 under with that birdie at the 5th. Kim So-yi, second shot from pretty much 100 meters out on the nose. Had a lot of green to play with. Well, the effort from just off the green, first taken by Iga Young. Rolls it about 20 centimeters shy of the cup. We'll head back in a moment, but first, chipping off the rough, has to land it. If not on the fringe, then just past it. She has found the fringe, and even that was too much. Well, next from a near identical position, Kimboa has to hit it perfectly for a birdie, but otherwise she can set up a par. She has chipped it in. Very nice touch. Great display of the short game. Just the second birdie of the round and back to even par for the day. A chip in to move back up to 5 under. And Yuhei ran a remarkable approach. This her birdie. And this to get to within a stroke of the lead. And she's tucked it in nicely. Stumbled at 3, but she's picked up a handful of birdies along the way. Very much in this title fight. Kim So-yi now. Oh. Off the flag stick and down, she gets her par. Well, looks like perhaps a bit more trouble for Igipum. Closest to the pin is the leader, Kime Reem, with Lee So-young also on the fairway. Well, I do have to take it back. She was hidden by the hill, but Igipum was in the fairway. bounce over that first pocket of rough that also contains a sand trap. She advances nicely. Best finish in her career was a tie for 14th at last year's Korea Women's Open Golf Championship. Second best to tie for 15th in the 2019 ADT Caps Championship. 27 years old, and the lowest mark of her season in the World Rolex rankings, down to 295th. Kim In-reem had to withdraw last week from the BC card Hangyung. Tied for 18th at the major just a couple of weeks ago. Her best finish on the year, tied for 6th at the Sultran Queen's Masters. She's going at this pin. She's gone straight into that rise at the end of the fairway, where the first leads into the second cut. We'll see what that lie looks like once she reaches the ball. On her back nine, trying to stay loose. We'll be hoping to find a few birdies along the stretch, because there are several competitors hot on her heels. 5 of them, in fact, just 1 stroke back. Choi Sung and Kim Suji and Lee So-mi, a 3-way tie at 6 under par. A few times in recent vintage we have seen not a wedge, a wood or a hybrid from the sand. The rain today certainly lends to make this a bit of an easier hit, but doesn't translate to an easy shot despite that. Certainly when you can't ground the club either. How will Lee So-young fare? I'd say she fares pretty well indeed. Going to carry a lot of pace and just roll up into the fringe. But from the sand to the green in 2 strokes. A decent, to say the least, effort here at the longest par 5, the longest hole of the course, nearly half a kilometer long. To the green at 11 after nearly having an eagle at the last. This is the downhill putt from Hong Jung-min, and again she burns the edge. She waits long enough, the wind would blow that one in. So close to the birdie, but she will stand pat once again. One back. Well, ENG Prum is navigating this 10th hole pretty well. This stretch, 9, 10, 11, and 12 pars each and every time she's played them this weekend. Well, she'll be aiming for the left of the green, 8 yards off of it, in fact. A chip in as we saw just a few minutes ago, not out of the realm of possibility. There's no doubt they are going at this pin. Kim So-yi now her second. Will bounce short just before the fringe. And this will be an uncomfortable stance for Kim Reem. Admitted to the LPGA Tour of Korea back in 2007. 7 professional wins in her career, looking to make it an 8th and a 6th on the KLPGA Tour specifically. She's joining Yigipum just off to the left. We will head back to check out their third shots in a moment. In the meantime, we will fast forward to the 12th hole, the 5-iron, the club of choice for Hong Jung-min. The exact center of this 12th green, 28 yards off the back, which is just 18, or 8, excuse me, it's 28 yards off the front, which is just 18 yards off of the back. So pretty centrally located pin placement here in the final round. Kim So-yi chipping, heading downhill. Heck of a try from Kim So-yi. Six-iron at 12 for Soyeon Jung. It's a great effort, rolling just past pin high. Very makeable birdie putt once she gets down the hill. And back to 14, a par to stay at 8 under. It's gonna have some late movement.
Cool.
Not enough to detract Kim So-yi. 4 holes to play within a stroke of our leader. Kim Reem and Yigipum side by each, just off to the left. Pretty much exactly pin high. It is all the way off the back for Lee So-young, who will be putting down the hill from the fringe. Where the green starts to open up. It slopes back down left. Looks like she's lined this up pretty well. It's a conservative shot. It's a good shot. Let's rejoin Park Young-gyung playing the final par 3 of her round. It's a nicely weighted chip. Meter and a half past the hole. She has that left for par. Well, we just saw the plan of attack, how to birdie from this exact location with the wedge. Kime Reem's giving herself a shot. She bounces off the ball marker. Don't think she was quite gonna find the cup anyways. Puts with the wedge and gets her par. 3 times she's played 10. She's gone birdie, bogey, par. Park Young 5 back and would stay that way. A little bit of a nerve-wracking roll around. Birdies on the first 2 holes to start the round. 15 pars in a row since then. It's 8 meters out, slightly down the hill for Hong Jung-min. Well, the putt was close. She's staying close to Kime Reem. And a great putt off the back to set up what should be an automatic completion to this hole. She is able to get her birdie. Birdie's here in round 1 and now round 3. She is back to even par for the day. From a long way away, just off the front of the green. Nicely played, a good roll down the hill for Yue Ren. Yiga Young now. Some distance to be made. She can be rewarded with a share of the lead with a make, and that's exactly what she does. Tip of the cap. 5 birdies now on the round and a co-leader with just 7 holes to play. Kime Reem continues to be accurate off the tee, finding the fairway once again. She did most of the heavy lifting on Friday with a tournament low score of 65. So-Yeon Jung just breezing past the outside edge of the cup. A failed birdie attempt. And an important par save for Yue Ren. She's able to knock it down. Knocking at the door as she heads to 12. So Young double bogeyed this 11th hole in the opening round. She was 78% Greens in regulation in the opening round. Slightly up and down second round. Recording 11 of 18 greens in regulation. Once again, we reintroduce you to the 12th hole with a whole bunch of sand and a whole lot of water off to the right. If you miss there, it'd be a pretty noticeable miss to not find the green for this field. And as mentioned, the previous group to play it, 18 yards off the back and in the exact center of the width from the left to the right edge. Well, she's inside the top 10 in both greens and fairways in regulation. A pretty good putting season. Nearing the completion of the 12th event for Yiga Young. And away she goes. Playing the 7-iron. Honestly, could have probably done better had she clubbed up better in terms of closer to the hole at least. Clipping up is what Yu Ren has done relative to the previous shot. It is a 6-iron. Will land and roll and tumble all the way to the edge of the green just before the fringe. It is pin high, but a very difficult uphill putt on deck for her. And a nicely hit shot just inside the front edge. Pretty straight downhill putt will be next. This is the par 4, 368-meter 15th, as we rejoin Kim So-yi from just off the right side of the fairway. Floating it in, a bounce off the rough just before the green, and a pretty good result that. Final hole of the tournament for Pak Hyung-kyung. Able to find the green. And a tie for 16th at the minute at 4 under par. from the fairway here at 11. Oh, as good as can be on the approach. She needed a response after Ega Young continued to bring the pressure towards her. Like hot potato, just with a damp and cold piece of grass. So Young is in the second cut. This is the attempt, needing to get to the right side of this green. She's going to get a nice little roll down the hill, but that is definitely two-putt territory. And it is another birdie, the third of the round, coming at... We are 70 minutes, just over an hour into our coverage of the final round as we rejoin the action on 15. Kim So-yi putting for birdie. She got it 99% of the way. It'll have to be a tap-in par into the final 3 holes. And just one stroke back of a share of the lead. Speaking of a share of the lead, Ega Young's got one right now. Won't be able to go solely top the table. And a lean, chipping from the rough. Final hole of the tournament, inside of 2 meters. She went 71 and 71 and is on pace to do it again, up 3 spots into a tie for 21st. And from the bottom right edge of the green, Yuhei ran, oh, nearly there. Another hole down, another par recorded. She's 3 under for the day. This birdie would get Pak Hyung-kyung to 5 under for her tournament. Just runs out of steam at the very end. Finishes the event. Rounds of 71, 71, and 70. 4 under for Pak Hyung-kyung. Well, the chain of 71s for Annalene has been broken. She's lipped out with that par putt and a disappointing up and down day. A lot of birdies recorded, but a lot of bogeys as well. Finishes the day even. And back to 13. The approach shot just coming up a bit short for Hong Jung-min. Well, when you can't see the golfer beneath the hill, it's always a little bit concerning. Still in play and 88 meters away, So-Yeon Jung. Well, she's missed again this time. It's short and quite likely in the sand just before the green. And how quickly that smile disappeared. 11 meters of green to make up here for Lee So-Young. Birdie out of the cards. I think she will be relieved to not have a repeat of her performance at 11 in the first round where she double bogeyed. Rest of the top 5, or the top 10, excuse me, includes Lee Mi-jung, Annalene, Kim Ji-young-tu, Lee Jung-min, Ji Han-sol, Sung Yoo-jin, and Yoo Hae-ran. And as it stands, hole in and hole out, Kim Hae-ran cannot buy a birdie. Only one on the round. That was at the 5th. Records another. This one, the closest of the lot. This is when the doubt starts to creep into your mind just a little bit. She had birdied here in rounds 1 and 2. And it is a par for the 2016 champion. Missing the sand, but caught up in the thick grass. It's a pretty good out. Seven iron at the par 3 12th. Consecutive pars through this tournament. Lee So-Young. Going right for that pin. And we'll finish just before it by about 2 meters. This the third for Hong Jung-min. Was weighted pretty nicely. Should be a par and on to the next. Six iron the decision for Kim Hae-ran. Well, it would be fitting of something of a confusing day with the putter for Kim Hae-ran. If this was the birdie she recorded, it was a big ask. She's certainly not losing any ground, but She's already seen her lead evaporate. She's sharing it at the minute. Kim Soo-ji to get within 1. Back-to-back birdies now, and she moves to 8 under par. Oh, it's a pretty good try. 5 centimeters away, she will have to settle for a par. Still even as she heads to the 13th. Yuhei Ran breezes by. She bogeyed the 3rd. Birdies at 4, 5, 7, and 10, and now back-to-back pars. Just 4 meters separating Iga Young and double digits under par and sole possession of the top spot on the leaderboard. Needs to straighten out, and she has her birdie. Start of the day 3 back. She is 5 under in this 3rd and final round, and for the time being, the lead is all hers. Par confirmed, and now in the runner-up position, Kim Reem. And Kim So-yi would love to be able to join her. It's going to take an absolutely remarkable putt to do it. Again, a pretty good effort. Weight was mostly figured out. Needed to put a lot of it behind that putt to get it up the hill. It's the second shot on 14, par 4. So-yeon Jung now 3 back, 3 off the pace in the hunt for the championship with just 5 holes to play. That is down to the final 6 holes for our featured group, the 21st group to tee off today. An 11:01 local time start, now 3.5 hours to go. First to swing with the driver. Is he so young? 48th longest driver on average on tour. Greens in regulation have been one of her undoings. It's been the putter that saved her in a lot of events. She's 101st on average in greens in regulation, 111th in driving accuracy. Par and bogey the first 2 times through this 13th hole. Now starting to chase things a little bit. That's a good start. Right down the center of the fairway. It's just a wood. But in this tournament, her compromise of accuracy versus power has paid off for her so far. It has her in the hunt. She needs to set that fire back to the putter. Well, the second of 4 par 4s in a row, 312 meters from tee to hole at 14. A big sprawling bunker guarding the left side. However, it is a 10-yard off the front and 4-yard from the right pin location today. And this group has played this hole very well.
Okay, what?
Well, she won't be able to have any complaints. It's not a very forgiving fairway, nice and narrow, but she finds the dead center of it. Willing this ball to behave. It is missed only just, but it is rough nonetheless. She will be happy to avoid that sand trap. 2 holes further down the course, the final par 4 of the round, just 142 meters remaining. The dog leg right, it is straight as an arrow the rest of the way. Kim Soo-ji, her second from the fairway. Well, she's able to find the green. Would have loved a little bit more of a carry, but she's able to find it in 2 with the iron. From the fringe. Had to hit it to get it up the hill, but didn't need to hit it quite that hard. Well, some players are going extremely low today. Others are starting to level out. It's 4 under on the day for Hong Jung-min. 4 birdies in a row. 4 pars in a row after a birdie at 10, rather. It's a bit long and it's a bit off to the right for So Yeon Jung. greenside repairs, a little green maintenance. Slightly uphill putt with a bit of movement. This to get to 6 under par, straighten out. It does. 3 birdies now, the first on the back 9 for Isomi. A celebratory fist bump after a nicely knocked down birdie putt. Back to 13. Kim A. Ream, 99 meters away. Ton of loft and a kind little roll. Okay, Kim A. Ream, it is time for your birdie. No more excuses after an approach that quite literally could only be better by a few short centimeters. Right at that pin. She's finally going to get that long delayed birdie. Hong Jung-min will now be 2 back of 2 players after a par to stay at 8 under. And just one stroke short of that mark. Soyeon Jung as she taps in for her par. It's just 65 meters remaining for Lee So-young. She too has the lob wedge out. Not quite as close, but lovely, lovely wedge shot as well, and should be birdieing here at 13 as well. Kim So-yi, the penultimate hole, 2 back, 5 iron. She rolls pretty close to a flat birdie putt. Yuhei Ran on the approach from the rough. Comes up short, will hang out in the rough. Five holes to play for Lee Ga-young. Gives her a shot at another. She's never won on the KLPGA Tour. A runner-up finish in 2019, her best mark. She's on the hunt. Very much in contention. It's just a little tap in. Kim Soo-ji. She will have to remain 2 back heading to the next. Well, just past 100 minutes of our coverage of round 3 from the Birch Hill Golf Club. It is a missed opportunity, though it would have been a very nice birdie putt. She'll have to settle for a par. And around the cup and popping back out. That was a disappointing one for Lee So-young. is another par, and it is still 6 under with just 5 holes to play for her. Pretty good chip from Yuhei Ran. 5 centimeters, all that remains. Close to a chip-in birdie. Just a little tap in. Makes that par official. And remains 2 back. With just 4 holes to play now for Yuhei Ran. This is the simplest look at birdie that Kim Hae-rim will have all day. And for the first time since 5, a circle on the scorecard. She is back into a share of the lead. Well, when there's only 2 names on the leaderboard, you know we're getting into the final stages of the competition. This to get to 11 under, and it was a short-lived stay back in a share of the lead for Kim Hae-rim as Lee Young moves up to 11 under, 6 under for the day. She will head to 15. And fast forwarding to the 17th, it is a 6-iron for Kim Soo-ji. Down the hill she goes, the pin directly in front of the closest bunker in line from the tee blocks. Can't have many, if any, complaints with that tee shot, and we'll head back to 15 with Hong Jung-min. Bounce and come up just shy of the green. And Kim Hae-rim, she is double digits under par, but still chasing now. Though she does have 1 hole in hand. She's played this 14th very well all tournament long. Finally pulling the driver back out of the bag, and down she goes straight into the fairway. Well, more than likely it's going to come down to one of these 2 golfers. Each of the pair from the tee block to the fairway. It is a 2-horse race for a prize of 144 million won. Yuhei Ran saying, not so fast. I've still got some golf still to be played. 4 holes remaining for Yuhei Ran. And she too into the fairway. Running out of holes to find some birdies, but you can't count her out just yet. "14 meters out for Hong Jung-min. A little bit overcooked that time with the wedge. She would need to birdie out and have a significant amount of help the rest of the way. A 2.3 meter par putt goes 2.2 meters. And it's a drop shot and down to 7 under. First bogey of the round for Hong Jung-min. And back to 14 with Kim Hae-rim. It is 92 meters separating her and the hole. And she's gone right at it again. So maybe a fire lit under her after birdie at the last. Though as we've discussed, she's birdied here each and every trip through the 14th. Quick check of the wind.
무게랑 힘 소도가 더 괜찮아. 아까 10번이랑 똑같이 받치면 돼.
Well, this the second, the approach for our leader, and she too is going right at the cup. Well, we are in for an absolute shootout between Lee Ga-young and Kim Hae-rim with back-to-back shots like that, less than a meter away. And she is headed for 12 under. Tournament record belongs to Chae Hae-jin, 14 under in 2017. And she posted a final round 63. Kim Soo-ji likely going to come up short this week, but a chance to put herself in a podium position with a birdie make. She's tied with two other golfers, at the minute at 8 under, and that is where she will stay heading to 18. Curled back around in behind the hole. It's a tap and par. 4 under for the day is a very good round. From the fairway, straight at the pin, slightly downhill for Yoo Hae-ran, her second. Well, she's giving herself a look at birdie. One last check of the slope. Well, no pressure jitters from the 7-time winner in her professional career. 5 wins on the LPGA Tour of Korea for the 31-year-old Kim Hae-rim. Well, just 4 holes to play for Lee Ga-young and Kim Hae-rim. Both at 11 under, but very likely not for much longer. It is almost certainly a simple tap-in birdie putt She has never won in her professional career. Came close. 2019, a runner-up at the ADT Caps Championship. 3 other top 5 finishes in her career, including 2 this year. Tied for 5th at the Nexon St. Nine Masters, second event of the season. Also tied for 5th at the 7th Kyochun Honey Ladies Open. And a big one in 2019, tied for 4th at the Hana Financial Group Championship. This might be her day where she finally climbs the mountain. She'd become the 3rd first-time winner on tour this season, joining Imjini and Pak Bomi. Well, this is a shot-by-shot recap here at 18, nestled just inside the right edge of the fairway. Well, first to play, the approach shot. Well past and rolling beyond the cup. For a second, it thought about curling back, but it will stay straight, but in behind the cup. One final check of the line for Yuhei Ran. Well, to give herself any realistic chance at staying in the running, it's an important birdie make. Back to a circle on the scorecard. 4 under for the day. And again, I hearken back to her back 9 in the opening round, where she undid a 6 birdie and 9 hole performance. Oh, you're never sure when that trailing hand slides off the end of the club. Could have been a lot worse. Still in the fairway. Slightly downhill and just drying off what I'm sure are slightly sweaty palms as she's getting closer and closer and can almost see the victory in her grasp. To retake the lead at 12 under. Oh, and she's missed it. She's pushed it past the hole. I cannot believe she has done that. She's overhit it, no doubt about it. Maybe those palms were a little sweatier than I had initially considered. She's going to try it again, this time to save a par. She'll be disappointed, but she is still a share of the lead. All right, Kim So-yi is ready. It's just 110 meters remaining. Birdie and par here in the first 2 rounds at 18. Well, she's on, but it certainly seems like 2 putts is a realistic expectation. It is just past 3 p.m. local time from Pyeongchang. Well, of these last 4 holes, she has only birdied once. 7 pars. The course is playing a lot kinder today. The rain softening it up nicely. The approach games for a lot of the field were spot on, but the greens were so quick, especially on Friday. So a drizzly day has softened those putting surfaces right up, conducive to low scores. 93% greens in regulation for Kim Reem. Averaged less than 70% heading into this event. This is her approach. The line's okay. Could have benefited from carrying a little bit more, but she is putting.
네, 샷. 야. 이게 보고 있어.
3 holes remaining for Yoo-Hae Ran. She's launched that tee shot down the fairway, the final par 4 of her round, and settling in nicely. Final 3 holes for Lee Ga-young. Oh, that is a pretty hefty carom off the fairway and into the rough. Oh, what a fantastic putt up the hill into the bottom of the cup. 6 birdies now on the round. That is a big time make. Well, the field really starting to separate itself, and have to highlight and shout out a very good round of 9 under par with 2 holes remaining for An Ji-yeon. Most of the rest of the field has finished. Kim Boa, a frustrating day for her, 2 over. And it is down to 2 golfers, barring some kind of a slip which may open the door for Yuhei Ran. So we are likely within the final hour of our coverage of the third and final round of the 2021 McCol monapark Open with SBS. Slightly off the left side of the fairway after quite the bounce. The recovery shot, the approach shot for Lee Ga-young finds the fringe. She will chip back down to try and set up a par. Kim A-Reem, well, very close to a long-range birdie. It appears as though she too will be settling for par. Tapped in, and she will head to the 16th. Still at 11 under. .137 meters out, the second at this very 16th hole. We'll roll about 3 meters past the hole. She'll have to come back down, which is exactly what Kim So-yi is doing at 18. Her birdie putt, she's hit it with a ton of pace. And it wasn't even enough pace, nor was it quite on line. Well, she will finish her day in what is very likely a tie for 4th position. 5 under for the round. We will see her round out shortly. In the meantime, So-young runs out of speed just before the cup. Bit more pace, very likely would have played that through the break. She is still at 6 under where she started the day. And a tap in par to make it official. 6 birdies and a bogey on the round for a final round score of 67 for Kim So-ji. And the 16th hole, the dog leg right into the fairway along the tree line, where it is a sharp turn before straightening out towards the cup. Only 4 birdies here today, no eagles, 13 bogeys, 5 doubles or worse. Bunker guarding the front left edge of the green. The pin location 7 yards off the back and 8 yards off the right. The 19th group finishing off their hole here at 16 as we speak, which will allow for us to let Kim A-Reem, Lee Gi-pum, and Lee So-young tee off. Played that exactly where she needed to. Back to 18 with Kim So-ji. She'll land it past the cup. And she will be putting with her 3rd. Well, it would be a Herculean birdie make for Lee Ga-young. She got it all but about 3/4 of a meter.
감독님 조금만 빼. 그게.
She will mark Hope to connect on a par and head to 17, still at 11 under. Ong Jung-min has had a few of these situations chipping down the hill towards the cup. It's a pretty good try, but for her, the birdie well has run dry down a spot from where she started the day. Sole possession of 8th at the minute. 3 birdies on the front. Started the back with a birdie at 10. All pars, with the exception of 15, where she bogeyed. It is 4.6 meters out on this birdie try for Yuhei Ran. You'd think she needs it to have a chance. Well, sometimes it is just not your weekend. It's a little tap in. She's got 2 holes to play. She needs to birdie them both and hope for some slips down the stretch from our 2 co-leaders. So-Yeon Jung. Pretty significant right to left movement up the hill, coming up a bit short. It's down to 2 holes. She's played 52, and she is a co-leader. Well, if the pressure is getting to her, she's certainly not showing it. The look from our camera tower at 16, back down the fairway. Dispersed evenly through the fairway. Everyone has a pretty straight on look at it. The green opens up with a little bit of a pocket to the right where the flag is located today. And final check of the notes, a quick consultation with her caddy. She'll finalize a club choice and be ready to go momentarily. In the meantime, back to 18, Kim Soo-ji to get to 9 under. And she's tracking, and she is holing out. 5 birdies on the round, a 67 in the final round. She concludes her tournament at 9 under par. And a tie for 3rd with Yuhei Ran at the minute. Okay, it seems like Kim A-Reem is nearly ready to go here with her approach from the 16th fairway. She's 150 meters away from the hole. Let's see how close she's able to get. Well, she's on line to that right-hand side. It's a great little bounce. Hit the brakes and a touch of a roll back towards the cup. She is absolutely dialed in. A remarkable approach once again from Kim A-Reem. It's advantage to her with a look at birdie on the final par 4 of the course. Let's get one more look at it. It is a perfect swing. It is a near perfect result. Catches that downslope on the right side and leaves her with a short uphill putt for birdie. Well, of the three players still in contention, the results of their previous trips to this 17th hole. Opposite of 16, this is a left located flag. And it's a decent end result for Yuhei Ran, who needs a couple of birdies and will pray for Kim Reem and Ko atop the leaderboard to let her back in. She's got a one-hole advantage. Does Kim Reem on Lee Ga-young? The rain slightly starting to pick up once more on course. Well, it's a pretty good looking approach from Yuhei Ran. What does our co-leader have in store? Oh, she goes one better. Well, this, the latest look at birdie for Kim Reem, and she knocks down another at 16. It's been a long time coming as this 5-time champion on the KLPGA Tour looks to take home another title. And you can tell she is just feeling it right now. Down to the final 2 holes, and she is back atop the leaderboard. Well, for absolutely any chance at the win, Yuhei Ran needs this birdie. The putter, it has been her undoing all weekend long. The approach game has been so good. It's just that final shot to really make up the grounds. It is still a very good day, but with just 1 hole to play, Yuhei Ran will be coming up short once again. Nearly 50% of the time, a putt from this distance would find the bottom of the cup. Kim Reem made a statement with her birdie at 16. How does Lee Ga-young respond? Well, she responds with a birdie of her own. How about that? Mono mono. Count those birdies now. 8 on the day. 7 under for her round. The only thing that would make this sweeter is having these two in the same group to go shot for shot. "52 holes played for Kim Reem. She is 12 under par. 53 holes played for Lee Ga-young. She is 12 under par. And with stats like that, it helps really explain how dominant she's been able to be. She's going with the hybrid. here at the final par 3 of her round. It's 164 meters down the hill. She's hit it straight when she needs to be a little more to the left. Not a single meter of curve. Dead straight. So some work to be done. And for the final time in the regulation 18, the 54th of 54 holes for Lee Young. It will be driver. Birdie doesn't seem likely for Reem at 17, which means this young lady can really start to put the pressure on. Nice little draw into the fairway. Step 1 is done. And following a similar drawn path, Yu Ran also into the fairway at 18. Well, we are going to catch up now with An Jian, who's playing her 18th and final hole of the day over at 9. An eagle at the par 4, 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 birdies and an eagle. She is 10 under. Even if she pars the hole here, it would be a final round 62. She's gone past the pin. She's going to get a decent roll and will end up right beside Choi Yan. Slightly in front and slightly to the left of Choi Yan. We're in the closing stages, the home stretch of another successful weekend on the LPGA Tour of Korea. Who will take home the title? The 2021 McCol Monapark Open with SBS. Reem. It's a very good effort from a long way away. She will have to settle for a par here at 17. She'll tap in momentarily and head to the last at 12 under. So Yeon Jung right at the pin and just a meter shy. A great approach. Next up, Hong Jung Min. A promising start. The birdies were hard to come by on the back 9, but she's put herself in a great position to end the day with one more. It's 258 meters out for Lee Young. She's taking a good chunk of that off, advancing down the fairway. Could be the 2 most important shots of her career coming up. Two meters closer, Yu Ran. She too advances further, showing off her strength. It's a great shot from the fairway. And to make it official, the confirmation of a par. 53 holes down, one more and maybe a playoff in the future, the immediate future of Kim Reem. So Yeon Jung lets the birdie slip away. It is still a very good day. An even par round on Friday, and then back-to-back rounds of 4 under par at the weekend. Jungmi gets her birdie, 68 on the day as well. She finishes the tournament at 8 under par. Mi a few moments ago as well gets her par. 71 today, 72 on Friday, and a 68 yesterday. She is through this event at 5 under par. Well, the featured group, the final group, has reached the tee at 18. Reaching back for a little bit more distance into the fairway. And a good spot as well off to the left. Something I did not expect to be saying when we came on the air today. An Jian for a final round 61. Now she's gonna just come up short. She'll tap in and finish the day. It could very well be a course record. We will find out in the post-tournament ceremony. And she makes it official. A day she'll never forget. Started the day 1 over par and a 62 in her final round Sunday. And that smile will be plastered on her face for a long time to come. Congratulations to her on a remarkable Sunday here on tour. Just past 102 meters away. The approach, and it is a good one. She's given herself a chance at birdie. She is nearly there. Yuhei Ran trying to follow suit. And one final remarkable approach from Yuhei Ran. She came almost as close as you possibly can get 1 month ago at the Lottie Open. Fell in a 1-hole playoff to Chanana. It won't quite be a runner-up position here today, but it is still another good result. Early on, nearly at the halfway mark. This is the 12th of 32 scheduled events on tour. '33 if you count the LF Hazi's Point Championship, of which Yuhei Ran is inside the top 10. The 10th and final position. So now the attention turns to two competitors. Well, as Lee Ga-young gets set for a birdie putt, we go back further up the hole on the left side of the fairway. The pin hidden by the trees just on the left side of the fairway, in behind the sand trap, a little ways further down as well. It is 281. Our caddy seems to like it. She will be happy with it as well, I imagine. From the tee to the fairway and further down the fairway. Well, Lee So-young knows what it takes to win this event. She did so here at Birch Hill in 2016. Consecutive rounds of 69 for her. She's on pace for a 72 here today. Well, this would seriously put the pressure on Birdie to retake the lead at 13 under par, and she's got it. One last splash of magic. It is a 64. So she will walk off the back of the green and watch Kim Reem come in. And the tip of the cap to the ever-growing crowd at the back of this 18th green. Well, I'm sure by now the word has made its way back to the group, the final group on the walk down the fairway. Final round 67 for Yuhei Ran.
Nice play.
Bows, hugs, and fist bumps. And it will be a tense 5 minutes or so for the 21-year-olds who will watch on. At worst, she's tied her best ever performance on tour. At best, she is a first-time champion.
번호 불러주실까요? 436, 533, 444, 443, 554, 44. 불러줄까? 네.
Maybe this is better for her nerves to not be able to see what is going on. Well, speaking of what is going on, you can see Lee So-young in the fairway and off to the left of your screen. On the hill, in the thick rough, we find Lee Pum. She'll be disappointed with her final round Sunday. She's 5 over as it stands after opening the tournament with a 68, a 69 yesterday. She was one back of Kim Ae-rim to start the day, and it has been a tale of 2 rounds. I'll just roll off the fringe into the rough. She'll have to chip back down. Lee So-young trying to stay even par for the day, inside the top 10 at the minute. Refreshing her memory on where she's headed. And for you at home, the pin today, 7 yards from the right edge, just 12 yards from the back. If she can get her birdie, something she hasn't done in the first 2 rounds, we'll be headed for a playoff. Before we get there, here is Lee Pum out of the rough, back into the fairway. Which means the last to play her approach, Kim Ae-rim. Return to victory, 3 years in the making. She withdrew last week, tied for 18th at the major 2 weeks ago, tied for 6th, her best mark of the season at the Celtry and Queens Masters, tied for 60th at the Lottie Open, missed the cut at the E1 Charity Open, and giving herself a chance. Her 3rd shot, setting up a similar looking birdie putt from what we just saw from Lee Ga-young. One more look at it. Right at the cup, a hit, a stick. Her fellow competitors showing some appreciation. The scorecard is signed, it has been made official. I wouldn't look at that phone for too long because I'm sure it's blowing up with friends and family sending in well wishes. She's got the putter, a quick sip of water. She is headed for the green. .63 meters out, the 4th shot for Lee Pum. Not going to have quite enough carry to get down the hill as our featured group is announced on their arrival at the 18th green.
자, 그리고 올해 셀트리온 퀸즈 마스터즈 6위에 올랐고요. 통산 6승 기록하고 있는 김혜림 선수입니다. 자, 마지막으로 올해 셀트리온 퀸즈 마스터즈 17위 꾸준한 성적을 보이며 이번 대회 챔피언조에서 플레이하고 있는 이기쁨 선수입니다.
가영이 버디 했어? 가영이 버디 했어?
Well, let's refresh your memory of the approach shot. From each of the two competing for this title, Yi Ga-young, and then about 10 minutes later, Kim Reem. Near carbon copies of each other. Well, she's got some time to clean up the green. The only one of the trio still off the green. He's so young. She'll be putting down her fourth shot. Birdie would be delightful. Setting up a par wouldn't be too bad either. She's significantly overhit this. Well, how much time is too much time to think about a putt? It's starting to border on that point for Kim Reem. Trying to get a read from every perspective, behind the ball, on the opposite side of the flag. She's made these putts before to win titles. This one she needs to force a playoff. First, Iggy Pum. This her look at par. And it's a really good try at it. Unfortunately for her, she will be dropping another. She will mark and let the rest of the group carry on.
우리 연장 가영아 이 시합 성공한 거야. 목표 달성한 거야. 그냥 가서 즐기는 거야. 그렇게 생각해.
아마추어 때 잡는다고.
연장.
Trying to stay loose. Mentally and physically. That is what remains. A must-make birdie to force a playoff. Lee So-young, her par save attempt, and it is a good one, but it just teeters on the edge. Tap in bogey, a final round 73 after consecutive 69s. She'll finish the tournament at 5 under par. Well, it all comes down to this. 10 years, a decade separating Kim Reem and Yiga Young, a 7-time winner in her professional career. And someone perhaps on the verge of her first. She needs this to force a playoff. And she steps up and knocks it down. She had all the time in the world to overthink it. Calm and cool as you like. 54 holes, not enough to find a champion this weekend. For the third time in 2021, we are heading to a playoff, and she knew. She walks it in. Pumps the fist, tips the cap. A wave to the crowd. And the reaction. All she can do is smile. And she's heading right back out to the course. A 67 in round number 3. 65 on Friday, a 71 yesterday. And perhaps sharing a couple of words of wisdom. A past champion at this event to perhaps the next champion of this event. Well, on April 25th, the next in St. Nine Masters, the first playoff of the season and just the second event of the season. It took 2 holes, but Peng Minji was able to win her first of 5 titles over Chana Na. Then, fast forward to the 6th of June at the Lottie Open, it was Chana Na versus Yu Heiran. It was just a 1-hole playoff. And now, for the first time in the month of July, we have one more playoff on the horizon. That is years of wisdom, years of experience, and nerves of steel. Oh, better put that umbrella away. Throw the vest back on. Because we need a playoff to decide a champion. Well, it's not quite the final round highlights, but we'll get you up to speed on how we got to the playoff. Lots of birdies to be found today. That was the 5th birdie of the day on 11. Also on 11, Ki-Mei Reem. A putt which could have won the championship. In retrospect, she would have to tap in and settle for par. At that point in her round, only 1 birdie had been found. But the birdies just kept dropping for the 21-year-old Yiga Young. At 13, Ki-Mei Reem, a hit and a roll with just 10 centimeters still to be found. And finally, Ki-Mei Reem was able to get the par monkey off of her back and get her second birdie of the round. On 14 at that point at 10 under. And by that point, we had a feeling it was going to come down to these two. Another unbelievable approach from Ki-Mei Reem. And at that point, starting to put birdies together. 15. A miss from Yi Young. Way too quick off the face of that putter. And more pin hunting from Kime Reem. A good hit, a good roll. Tailing off to the right, and then a left to right putt. As calm as you like. We got to see a lot of those fist bumps down the stretch on 17, 11 under for Yi Young until she watched this one drop. And then on 18. No nerves, a big time birdie putt made to go in with a 31. Not to be outdone. Kime Reem to almost an identical location with her third shot as well. She needed this to force the playoff, and she knew. Unfazed by the pressure. 67 in her third and final round. And with the way these two are playing, who knows how many playoff holes we will need. It is Yi Young to tee off first. And we are playing 18 once again. Well, that is just cruel to not show us where it landed at first. It is in the fairway. Kime Reem with the perfect balance today of accuracy and power through the 18. Here she goes again. Slightly in behind Yi Young, nearly side by side. And not that you would expect anything different between these two. And she gets a hand under the string fence. Load up that cart, and down they go. Two perfectly hit tee shots. Two golfers at the top of their games here in event number 12 of the season. We'll take this opportunity as they make their way down the fairway to remind you that next week, beginning on July the 9th, the tour is headed to Soan Valley, the Tabo House D Open, with a 1 billion won purse up for grabs. And this is a pretty remarkable showing. Slightly separated after their first shots, and then shots 3 and shots 4 taken from nearly identical spots, slightly further out. 3 meters and 4 meters, those putts, those big time birdie putts. Well, I mentioned earlier in the round that the only real shame on the day was that these two were not in a group together. I guess we got our wish in a roundabout way. Well, again, she's placed it very well, Kim Reem. Now it's time for the response for Lee Ga-young. And she too finds the fairway. Toe for toe, shot for shot. As they will make the walk up to play their approaches onto the green. And quite frankly, no reason to believe that we may not be done after the 19th hole of the day for these two. Last time she did this was in 2018, Kim Reem. At the 5th Kyochun Honey Ladies Open. Well, you wouldn't expect much less. So in form all day long. These were their first approaches at 18. Three or 4 meters, as we've seen, is very well within makeable birdie range. 132 competitors started this tournament on Friday. 65 made the cut, and it is down to 2. Kim Reem, a 3-time winner of the Kyochun Honey Ladies Open. 3 times she won that event in a row, 2016, 17, and 18.
48도 칩니다.
7195?
A 2-time winner as well at the KB Financial Group Star Championship in 2016 and 2017. Another win in a runner-up, excuse me, in 2017 at the Jeju Samdesu Masters. Also a winner on the Ladies European Tour in 2017 at the SGF 67 World Ladies Championship with SBS, and winner on the LPGA Tour of Japan at the Samantha Tavasek Girls Collection Ladies Tournament. Lee Ga-young has never won in her young career. A little bit further past the hole than she would have liked. Everyone is still here at Yeongpyeong Resort, gathered around the 18th green, watching the approach from Kim Reem. It's just 76 meters remaining. She did this about 15 minutes ago. She's looking really good again. Advantage to the 31-year-old. She waited so long between birdies, just the one on the front. And once she got that second of the round, she hasn't looked back. Dialed in on another level. You could hear the shouts watching that ball come down. And a wave to what was just a short time ago her rivals, the competition, now the fans who are being treated to some really good golf here on Sunday. It's the 4th of July. Interesting to note as well that both of these two use the mallet putter. Some call it a fang putter. The little things you pick up on over the course of a 3+ hour broadcast. And there have been a lot of birdies in those putters this afternoon. It feels like it will be one more for Kim Reem.
딱 글로 가면 돼. 딱 거기야.
But Iga Young still has a shout.
이거 여기 얘기한 거야. 여기.
If she can sink this, she would put a lot of pressure on and make that 1.5 2 meter putt for Kim Reem feel a lot longer. It's 144 million won up for grabs. The birdie putt, Iga Young, it is 6.7 meters away. She's got a great read at it. Oh, off the edge and stays out. She gave it her very best try. Nearly another sensational birdie putt. One more look at it. It looked so good, and it was really good. Read that left to right break down the hill to near perfection when it caught the edge. You thought it was gonna drop. Regardless of how this finishes, it's a great day for her, but it might be centimeters, millimeters short. Kim Reem taps in, and for the 8th time in her professional career, and the 6th time on the KLPGA Tour, she is a champion as she finishes above the rest, winning in a one-hole playoff. The winner of the 2021 McCol monapark Open with SBS.
잠깐만.
Well, it is a tie for the best finish of her career. And until she gets that win, she is going to see that putt in her mind over and over and over. She left it all out on course. It was nearly the 3rd time this year that we saw a first-time winner, but in the end, the veteran who's been here before, 3 years in the making, and once again, a winner on the KLPGA Tour.
기회를 불러. 사진 나오게.
One more look at a nearly 7-meter putt that caught the edge and stayed out. That close for Lee Ga-young.
Thank you.
What an incredible sport. The highs and lows, competing for so many hours, week in, week out, day in, day out. And for Lee Ga-young, she comes that close, but comes up short in the end, tying a career best. The most hotly contested and some of the best golf on the planet. Yue Ran, it felt like her tournament to lose. After 9 holes of the 54 were completed, she gave herself a legitimate shot today with shots just like that, nearly rolling it all the way back in. We learned very quickly who some of the challengers might be. An early birdie in the round for Lee Ga-young. It was someone we knew we had to keep an eye on. At 9, it was an approach inside a few centimeters. And Yue Ran was sticking around. At that point, just one shot in behind and nearly holing out as well. Some great golf being played by that group. Kim Reem started the day in the lead, and as the round progressed, she certainly felt the pressure start to mount. Her first birdie came at the 5th, then on 9. We saw a few of those putts from distance. Fine pay dirt at that point, 4 birdies and a bogey as she finished her front 9. At 11, she was 8 under until this make. First birdie on the back came at 11. And that is when the exact same hole, Kim Reem tried to follow suit, and a eerily similar result on a putt to how this day would end. But 6 through 11, it had been consecutive pars. On 13, the 19th group of the day, Lee Ga-young continued to record birdie after birdie. Another at 13 got her to double digits under par. So someone who had led nearly from the wire, Kim Reem, was able to knock this one down, and finally on 13, recording her second birdie of the day, and then it was game on. Lee Ga-young versus Kim Reem, hole after hole, birdie after birdie, all the way down the stretch. It's those two competing. They just couldn't seem to miss. This was a remarkable shot. On 14, Kim Reem, a hit, a stick, and a roll. Half a meter away, tap in, and that moved her to 11 under. Fast forward to the 15th. And a missed opportunity, one of a few, I'm sure, that the 21-year-old will look back on with a bit of regret. And 16. From the fairway, once again going right at the pin, and once again rolling it inside. A very makeable birdie distance. It was a tough one though with the slope, a lot of left to right movement. 0 to phase our champion on the day. But admittedly, at 17, we still didn't know whose tournament this was. Lee Ga-young answered the bell once again, but from about 4 meters out, from a little right to left movement, birdieing the final par 3 of the round, and then this to take the clubhouse lead. In with the 31, out with the 33. So it was going to take 2 great golf shots in a row from Kim Reem. As cool as you like, as cool as to be expected. She sets up the birdie to force the playoff. She walks it in. So after a brief pause and a 18-hole score of 67, we went back to the 18th tee. The approach from 92 meters out, Lee Ga-young just overhitting it a little bit up the hill, and it was a big ask for her with her next. This was the approach for Kim Reem from 76 meters. And yeah, when that one rolled to a stop, you would put a lot of money down on that birdie putt being made, and you got to give credit to Lee Ga-young within literal millimeters of getting a birdie from 7 meters away. She would tap in for the par, and then this, Kim Reem, when she became a 6-time winner on this tour, winning in a 1-hole playoff. Well, a bouquet, a nice check, a beautiful blue jacket, and a trophy to match. Once again, and for the 6th time in her career here on the LPGA Tour of Korea, and the first time since 2018, Kim Reem stands above the rest. It took 19 holes today and a thrilling 1-hole playoff finish, but in the end, she is once again a winner on the LPGA Tour of Korea. Well, that will conclude our coverage. 3 very entertaining rounds of golf from the Yeongpyeong Resort, the 2021 McCol Monapark Open with SBS, your winner, Kim Reem. We will be back on July 9th for the Taebo Housdy Open from Soan Valley. Until then, on behalf of our entire crew, both at the course and around the world, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed broadcasting it to you. We will see you soon. In the meantime, stay well, be kind to each other. I've been Adam Jenkins, saying so long for now from Pyeongchang, the Birch Hill Golf Club, once again providing a fantastic weekend on the LPGA Tour of Korea.